another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is, game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Glenview Club in Chicago, Illinois, bringing you the Chicago Charities Grand Prix with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our touring presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: Wintrust, Illinois Bone and Joint, Viking, CPTC. I'm Guy Moore along with Jesse Carl, bringing you the women's quarterfinals match here between the number 4 and 12 seed. Let me introduce the players. All the way across on the ad side, wearing the visor, black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. We have Ellie Halbauer. Her partner, well, actually, it's not a partner. They moved around with serving over to the top right over there in the blue top. That's Vera Besanova. Over here on the deuce side, closest to us, is Anna Bukian. And on the ad side, with the blue hat on, we have Jill Jackson. When these pairings get back together, they're just rotating around, practicing their serves on the side that they're going to be serving when they're playing. The sun's still a factor here at the Glenview Club. Jesse, nice to have you with us.
Happy to be here. Our chair umpire for this match is Frank Willard. Scoring system for all matches will be regular scoring, best 2 out of 3 sets.
I'll tell you what, it's been a fantastic day of paddle here in Chicago. First of all, the weather's kind of in that mid-range temperature in the 50s. The sun's been a factor. It still is right now, especially on the far side of the court. As it drops, it becomes right into the line of vision. But just a really, really cool, amazing day of women's paddle. The game has changed so much, and the transition and the power, the pace, the rollers, the tactics have been just really, really fun to watch all day long.
Yeah, it has been fun, and what a great venue. As you can, I don't know if you guys watching the stream can see, but the fans are starting to really fill up here. The players will probably feed off that energy, having those fans.
So you have Ellie Halbauer serving. And now if the teams are together, you have Vera Besanova in the blue. On the deuce side here, on the side closest to us, her partner Anna Buyukian in the all black. Again, Ellie Halbauer serving, and her partner Jill Jackson at the net. Besanova and Buyukian had a good long 3-setter. Was a great match about 30-40 minutes ago. So they're coming right back on the court.
Looking at the draw, it looks like Jackson Halbauer have really been in command in their matches, only giving up 1 game in 3 matches.
Yeah, that's called on fire, right, Jesse?
Yeah, pretty dominant so far.
And you'll see Anna Buyukin, her big weapon is that backhand. She has a big backhand. Her forehand, she probes with it a little bit more unless it's sitting up high and short, and then she'll attack it. But Besanova is what you're seeing right now. There's the backhand I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
You see how she held that and then lobbed the next ball.
Yep.
Besanova, too, what happens with her is she just creates a chain of drives. So she'll drive one and then the volley short, and she'll drive another one and spot it. That's a good look, though.
Yeah, there's that you hope there's a safe part of the court there in the middle, and it looks like it isn't too safe with her standing there with that backhand ready.
So it looks like, too, Jesse, that they like to return on these sides and then switch. And that's that forehand I was talking about. A little less topspin, but her hitting down on it. She's getting all the ball, but it's just flat and hard.
Guy, why do you think they don't just start on the sides? They'd like to they play on as the point goes. Why do you think they?
Just because they like returning on those
just
sides.
For the purpose of getting that return.
For sure. That's the look Besanova wanted, though. And again, coming off a long 3-set match, an intense match. I watched quite a bit of it. You know, jumping back, it takes a good game to get your legs and mind back in it. But that's why it's good to have a long first game, because you really feel like you're warmed up.
Right.
That's great pace.
Yep.
And the only intent there, Jesse, was for that to be a short volley where she could drive the next one. There was no intent to do anything more than that. That ball just did not come off the nick. It just basically came right back into Besanova's chest.
It's a tough ball to deal with there.
Yeah. It just happens so quick. And yeah, she's clearly looking for that backhand. See if they stay here a little bit. They haven't switched in a couple points. That's the sun right there.
Yeah, looking right into it.
But this is a type of game that gets everyone warmed up. A long first game. Let's see if this backhand goes big here, Jesse. Notice as a team, Besanova and Bukian, they're moving together. That ball did not come off. Moving together. Anna Bukian sees it. Ball's going to be hit hard. She's already in the middle, so if it does hit the nick. And when they're hitting rollers, they're either going at them or going at the nick anyway, so she knows she's going to have to help in some capacity.
Long first game here.
Yeah, it's just who's making the errors first in this game, but they'll all settle in. Tell you what, Halbauer and Jackson have great hands up there.
Yeah, they sure
There.
do.
Yeah, and Bukian just waits for that ball to come off that backside screen or even a side back that's going forward. Gets her hands high and you could see how Halbauer and Jackson have only lost one game, right? I mean, they're just you know what they do? They do all the basics very
Yes,
well.
so solid. There's that backhand again.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to keep hitting the ball. I think if they're going to go there, they're going to have to go hard side back more at that, almost that third panel to push her back where those backhands aren't offensive, coming off the screen. And you see how quickly Halbauer and Jackson just bailed. I mean, she played her ace, hit it hard. She saw Besanova coming up the sideline. No chance that they want that matchup with her driving a ball above her head on the service line. So it's easy just to give up the net.
Then Halbauer showed she's got a little two-hand backhand herself.
Absolutely.
Rocketed that thing.
All right, so good long first game. Everyone's warmed up now. All right, Vera Besanova to serve. Love one.
And Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, but whoever wins this match, this is the last one for the day for them. So they get to go home, relax.
Yep.
So no reason not to leave everything out here.
I think the sun is a factor there, though. It's tough on that side, especially with the shadows. Actually, kind of the worst part of the day.
Right. Sun's a little lower, maybe.
It's low. Well, Jesse, guess what? Halbauer and Jackson have still only lost one game today.
Yeah.
Just if you wondered. Looks like it's 40-15 here. Maybe 40-30. All right, we got 15 all here. Jill Jackson serving. It's nice to see too Halbauer and Jackson. They're having such a. They're just having fun out there, smiling, laughing.
I think if I went through a tournament, having won 3 matches and in the 4th only losing 1 game, I'd be having some fun too. That's a pretty. They've had a pretty good day so far.
And early on, you see the ability for Halbauer and Jackson to play. Well, that's,
What a shot! What a disguise!
she just held that.
That was.
They have the ability to play fast and slow. They slow it down when they should. They speed it up.
Very in control.
And just let the other team make their mistakes. Pretty simple strategy. I'm going to miss a lot less than you. And Buyuki, and see now they're switching. So I think they do like to switch in the back, and I think it's a great tactic if you're not getting the looks you want. So
Yes.
a quick 3-love lead here.
If you're a club player and in one of your league matches and you have a weapon on the court, like Yukin's backhand, how do you get that? How do you get more looks at that ball? And switching is a great way to do
Well,
that.
it's a great question because obviously the better you lob, just call it simple. The deeper you lob, you saw them switching her to the deuce side, so her backhand's in the middle. So the better you lob, the more you eliminate angles. So she's going to get looks.
Right.
And that's they're not getting the looks they want, so that's why they're switching out in the backcourt. A lot of times people stay on the sides and their partner gets isolated, and it's not much you as a partner can do, but a great tactic is what you're seeing Besanova and Bukian doing right now when they're in the backcourt.
Volley.
Wow.
Little drop. Wow.
I tell you what, Halbauer and Jackson, they got a lot of tools, don't they?
Yeah, watching Jackson absorb those volleys. As you said in our last match, her paddle doesn't move. Just keeps it still, absorbs the pace.
And again, we're seeing another team here that likes to play fast. They like to play fast. It certainly favors them, Halbauer and Jackson.
Right.
All right, game point. Buyukian serving. And her hands are so solid, Buyukian, that all she's doing is putting that serve deep in the box, wherever she wants to place it, and then giving herself plenty of time to come in and volley.
So, Guy, do you think it makes much of a difference coming into a match where you've been so dominant as Jackson and Halbauer have been, just to keep that going, keep the theme of the day alive.
You know, I think when you have teams on a roll like that, playing the way they are, that the way you take a team like that out of their rhythm is to play quicker than them. Because slowing them down, I mean, they just don't miss. So that's why I said a moment ago, I mean, they look like they have the ability to play both ways.
Right.
But what you have to make them feel is pressure.
Right.
And they're applying all the pressure here.
What I'm noticing is that Hellbauer and Jackson's hands are so good at the net that even when these drives are being hit really well, there's just very little reward so far for hitting a good drive. So then, what are we looking to do then, Guy? What's the game plan if your best drives are coming back constantly from the net team?
Well, I mean, I think the simple solution is lob, but you gotta also say, I mean, look at that. I mean, that is just a ton.
So that was an interesting situation. Hard roller winds up going back over the net, and that point goes to the team receiving the roller.
Correct. They changed that rule years and years ago. Really single-handedly because of Johan Durant. He was so good at hitting that ball. He could hit it any short overhead. He could easily hit it into the back wire and have it come back over the net. So won the Nationals in Philly with Jerry Albright's doing that. It was either the ball was coming back over the net or someone was getting hit.
Was hitting someone, yeah.
Yeah. And neither were good results
for
the team being hit at. Now, the interesting thing, the only time that is okay is if you hit a hard serve into the nick and that came back across the plane of net. That is legal.
Oh, that is okay. I was unaware of that. That would be legal. I'm not sure I've ever seen that done.
When I've seen it done, it's happened a little bit more from the lefty serve than the
Interesting.
righty. So back to, what do you do when someone's hands are that good? Well, you've got to create the looks you want from the baseline. And you do that by better lobs, but lobs that create movement. Not just, we just can't say a good lob's a deep lob because Hellbauer and Jackson are good enough to neutralize that.
Right.
It's making them move where their positioning breaks down in combination with getting the look you want. That's what changes tempo in a match like this. Because it's going to be quick because they're hitting rollers. I mean, it's going to be quick.
Right. I don't think I've seen them miss a volley yet, though, which is pretty.
You're right.
Pretty amazing with some of the drives that are being hit at them.
You are correct.
There it is.
There it is.
The old announcer jinx.
Yep. It had to happen, though, right?
It had to happen at some point.
Well, I think, too, if any of us said, hey, you're going to have a great day of volleying today, you're going to feel like you're going to do very well in that match.
Yeah, that is playing a team that is volleying great makes things pretty difficult. Great overhead there, right in the nick again.
Jesse, let me tell you about one of our sponsors, Volley. Train in real game scenarios with serve and volley, the world's first responsive play drill. Volley's new AI-powered feature tracks your position, the ball, and returns every serve for targeted practice. Try it today on the Volley app.
Guy, have you ever gotten out in there and used the volley machine?
It's a great machine.
It's incredible.
And it keeps getting better and better. I mean, it's such an innovative tool, and the amount of things it can do is really neat. And they got a great team behind them too. Their tent set up here out at Glenview, and just everyone over there is just so educated and has so much knowledge, and it's just fun to talk about it, hear about it, and use it. The other thing, too, you notice, Jesse's like that. Ellie Halbauer, because she knew that ball was going to come at her big, was only looking to volley the ball at her body. You see how she didn't even look to chase that ball.
Right.
And that's what makes their volley so good. They're only looking at one window to volley in. And if the balls hit that big, they're willing to let it go.
And to that angle, right? That's not an easy angle she came up with.
Well,
so
if you're looking at too many windows to volley in, you're going to be swinging and flagging balls, and
right.
It's just not a big deal to give up the net and have that ball go by you. Certainly not at this level. But, and there it is. Besanova and Buyukian.
Big game for them.
Big
Get on the
game.
board.
Big game for them. And we talked about this in previous matches, you know, even though it was 5-love, but for them to kind of redirect some of that momentum, which is kind of a runaway train there. I mean, Halbauer and Jackson were just in cruise control. The set's 5-1. It's a tough one to win and come back from, but hopefully it gives them a little bit something going into the second.
Right. Too good.
Great shot by Besanova. But, you know, coming back from 5-love is, you know, all they're thinking about is one game at a time, not winning a set. They're thinking about winning a game.
Yep. And we haven't seen, that I can remember, them talking in between points like this. So they're also feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, they haven't had to.
Yeah, they haven't had to.
You are right. Well, that's another sign of a good team. They know when to slow it down, right? Besanova's got that forehand is just sits down quick. That's trouble.
What a touch in the corner. That ball died just as it got to that back screen.
And you can still see the sun's a factor over there. Buyukian's got her glasses on now.
Went to the shades.
And right where she's standing is the worst part.
It's the worst spot.
Yes, it is.
Looks like Besanova's starting to really get that forehand cooking here.
Yeah, they got to get more balls to the screen just like that. They can't keep letting her drive the ball off the deck. And, you know, you asked a good question a minute ago and talk about their lobs. See where they're lobbing down the line, and it's creating the movement there.
Right. Oh, what a shot.
Wow.
Didn't even seem like it was an option.
Wow.
Where she got that ball. Softened up her hands, dropped it in there.
Yeah, they're starting to lob much better with purpose for sure. And I agree with Jill Jackson staying back there.
Yep.
No need to run up to the service line to run all the way back to the screen.
She had made 3 or 4 of those in a row.
In a row.
She sees her not coming in. There's no target anymore.
So
Just
right.
that alone can cause an error.
Well, and it breaks the rhythm, right?
Yep.
Wow, that's a.
Yeah, it's a.
I tell you what, Ellie Halbauer, she really uses that left hand on that backhand. You see that ball have that shape? Notice, too, how Halbauer will move off to the right to let Jill Jackson hit that overhead. She's only going to take overheads to her right there. And by her getting out of the way and kind of ducking a little bit there, she was there for the next volley.
There,
That's game. 5-2.
couple big games. Even if they win or lose this set, those are big games. But there's definitely been a little momentum change here.
Well, you have the combination of Besanova and Buyukian missing fewer drives because they're not pressing anymore. They are in the tempo of the match, and they're certainly lobbing much better.
That's twice the amount of games that Jackson and Halliburton have lost the entire tournament so far.
Right. Shades are off.
Here we go.
Beach day's over.
Here we go.
Good energy from Besanova coming back, giving her a little fist pump. Good look, though.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. They want that shot.
And I like the pace, too. Pace was good. And you know, Jess, too, when Buyukian serves the way she does, I mean, she just trusts her first volley so much that she doesn't have to do more with the serve than that.
Right.
She knows the ball's never coming off the screen. It's going to be a drive off the deck. I'll tell you what, Halbauer's backhand is the biggest shot on this court right now.
Yeah, it's a big ball.
Notice, too, the positioning in the back. You see where Halbauer is?
Sort of in the center there.
Yeah, because
Roaming.
what she's doing is watching Buyukian or Besanova hit the overhead. She could see by their body language where it's going to go, and then she'll just drift over. But notice she was over towards that center hash mark, and they went behind her. That's really the only ball she's looking for, because if she's in the middle, she can't get beat to her right.
Right.
Well, welcome back, or we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM Media. Back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Chicago Charities in Chicago, Illinois, with this quarterfinal match between Vera Besanova in the deuce side here in the blue shirt with the visor on, her partner Anna Bukian in the all black, playing against Ellie Halbauer and Jill Jackson. Ellie Halbauer's in the ad side on the far side of our screen in the visor, and Jill Jackson's in the blue hat. Just hitting the last lob there. Halbauer is actually in the deuce side there, hitting that ball, yep. First set went to Halbauer and Jackson 6-2. Besanova Bukian changed the momentum towards the end of that first set. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the second set starts, and I think it's obviously very important for Besanova and Bukian to keep that momentum they had and keep the pressure on them.
Yeah, I do. I think they had a lot of nice momentum. I'm interested to see if they switch out a little bit more in the backcourt with Besanova moving over to the ad side and letting Anna Buyukian get more looks in the middle.
Find some more backhands.
I would say very soon that sun will be much less of a factor than it is on the far side of the court. And again, Halbauer and Jackson know when to slow it down.
Yeah, they're very poised out there, very deliberate with everything they do. There's Besanova sort of carrying over. She got hot in that end of that first set in there.
Yeah, she just starts a chain of driving, doesn't she?
Yeah, she can hit both sides, and she hit some amazing forehands at the end of that first set. There's another one.
First quick set, the first quick game of the second set, and that's kind of what we discussed, that momentum shift, right? You could feel it still, right?
Yeah, if you're a tennis player, with the serve, a lot of times, even if you have the momentum, it's hard to break serve. But in this game, you get momentum, you can reel off 3 quick games. Very different than tennis is.
And that's where the momentum changes in paddle, is when you allow your opponents to win 2 or 3 quick games. So when you're rolling like that, you want to keep it going. And when you're on the other side of it, you got to slow it down. And you saw Halbauer and Jackson do that. And sometimes, even though you have the right tactic, it takes maybe a game and a half for it to come to fruition.
That's also the beauty of this game, is that in tennis you could play someone where they just sort of hit the ball past you and through you, and you can't do much. But in this, you always have a chance with those screens there to give you time and absorb pace. So you can just stay in there and figure out a strategy.
Well, you're right. It's easy to speed up and slow down on the baseline. It's easy to reset the point by lobbing high with some depth, and at the net, just push it deep to the middle, and it's like the point starts all over again. That's a great volley by Jackson. Wow.
Oh, what a point.
Tell you what, Besanova just kept letting that ball drop. And not only is she letting it drop to her sweet spot, but she's also moving forward every time she keeps letting it drop, so the drive's coming from so close to the net.
Right. Point.
Halbauer did a great job of bailing.
Switch in the backcourt.
Was just out. Ball caught a seam. I tell you what, I don't know if I've ever seen a happier team than Halbauer Jackson.
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I can't even tell if they win or lose a point. I mean, they're just happy.
But that's so important, right? How many you've seen teams where they're gritting their teeth, and a lot of times you're not going to play your best when you're that tight. They're having a great time out there. You're right.
It's interesting too, and you're seeing more teams with the capacity to do this, having the ability to play fast and having the ability to play slow, and knowing when to do both. You no longer see them coming in behind that return from Bessanova. Those drives on both sides, Jesse, are just so heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with.
I mean, the amount of spin on those balls. If your paddle isn't still, what just happened is going to happen. But regardless, them staying back on Bessanova's return takes away any freebies that they're going to win by a missed first volley.
Right. Nice adjustment.
I would even say both of them could stay back. So both just stay back.
Yep.
Just no need to even put yourself in that situation. As good as they are, her forehand's better than their volley right now.
Right. At best, you're hitting that volley up. At best.
I tell you
Your
what.
comment was right on time there, Guy.
Yeah, I mean,
A couple big returns.
big returns, and you know why? Bessanova and Buikin are where they are in this tournament because of those returns. I mean, those are, kind of, although Bessanova has the firepower off both sides, but, I mean, she's clearly making a statement with her forehand, and Anna Buikin is doing the same with her backhand right now. They're just talking about turning the lights on here. And they don't want to make the mistake and turn lights on the next court over. So they're waiting for that point to be over. Of course, it'll be the longest point of the day, right, Jason? Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
I was just going to say, Jesse, we could do a dual commentary on that match, too. All right, they're both staying back here. Bessanova's on that side because that's the side she wants to play.
Yeah, we haven't seen this yet in this match.
Good tactic.
Yep.
I like it, even though they're up 2-love. They could easily just keep playing the way they are, but they're continuing to adjust.
That's a good point. Even when they're leading in this set, they're still going with what some would consider maybe a defensive tactic, but it's the right tactic. It's at this point for them.
Well, I think you consider that a defensive tactic. In your mind, you thought it was because when you first started playing paddle, your screens are weak. But as you get better, all you're doing is eliminating what's hurting you.
That's good. Yep.
And from the backcourt, that's where all the offense comes from. So,
But if you're a club player, you won't see that formation typically.
yeah, I would say in the lower series, I would even advise not to do that, because if your screens aren't a strong suit, then you need the net. But as you get better and better and your screens become an asset, then it's certainly a tactic that makes sense. See, I like that side back right there. It keeps Buyukin's back against the back wire. She could drive it, but everyone would see it coming. It's the one tighter in the corner that comes back out straight forward that's a problem. You know, into that first panel side back like that. That one could be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice little touch. That ball kind of stayed on that side screen.
Yeah,
just enough.
It didn't come off. Wide. Great ball.
Yep, tough ball.
She held that.
Yep. She could have probably hit that ball harder, but the spot was so good, making Benesova sort of dodge it first.
Yeah, it was so deep.
Yeah.
I do like the tactics though from Besanova and Anabukian. Both staying back there. I don't mind that at all. Jesse, I was teaching someone the other day, and we were doing some playing, and I said, let's both stay back, and she goes, you want to do the FBI? I said, what's the FBI? She said, that's where we both stay back and then both come in together blitzing. And it's actually kind of an interesting tactic, because they think you're going to stay back, and then all of a sudden they float a ball, and then
Yeah, that is an interesting tactic. Also, maybe would set you up down the road if you're staying back. They just keep them on their toes.
Yeah, the FBI.
Can't totally relax. Is that what it's called, though, the FBI?
Well, I guess it's what it's called now.
Okay.
That's all I know.
As of this telecast,
I've never called it that before.
The
Yeah,
FBI.
officially today.
Anybody listening, it is the FBI play.
Great volley.
That's trouble. That was trouble. That low into the side screen. That's
when she's that balanced up there, it's hard to hit that shot medium pace because the angles are there. And Besanova's already drifted over.
great volley. Wow. Guy, how did at that point there we saw Jackson sort of drift back before the ball was hit. Is it just where that ball is and that using those clues, or how would a standard club player know to move back like that before the ball's even hit?
Well, the time and space didn't favor her at all, so she's just giving herself more time. And as you get better and better, you're good at dealing with emergencies in the middle of nowhere. And so she would have had slow hands and put the ball up.
Right.
She probably would have lobbed down the line just because that eliminates angle behind her, and she would have been back to neutral within one shot.
Got it.
Halbauer's going to keep going after this. Oh,
Not if Benisova has anything to say about it.
wow.
One way to stop those overheads is to hit a drive like that. Dangerous spot.
Yeah, more balls have got to go to the wire here.
Yeah, that right there, that all the Benisova's 40.
Ball's got to go to the wire.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah. This is, once they get used to the tempo, right, the pace certainly favors the baseline team because things keep happening quicker and quicker, just like that point you saw.
No,
Right.
come on. Come in.
All right.
Would you say, Guy, as the ball speeds up, it favors, as the points speed up, it favors the baseline team within that team?
That favors the baseline team for sure.
Those net players being out of position, having
Well,
less time to react.
That's it. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, the faster it is,
Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at Corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
So Jesse, as we come out here, Besanova and Buick have just really stepped up in terms of their drives. Up 3-2 here in the second set. They really changed the rhythm of everything. We were just having a conversation in regards to who pace favors. Well, that last game is a great example of who it favors because, you know, it favors the net team when you're creating errors by your pace, but it doesn't favor the net team when you're not. So.
Right.
And I just think it took until the end of that first set for Besanova and Buyukin to get used to the pace because Halbauer and Jackson play fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't win 0-0, 0-1, 0-0, whatever. I mean, the whole day was, right, by playing slow.
Yeah, making teams comfortable.
Right. And this is where kind of the momentum shifts right back when you have a quick game going the other way.
Yeah. Interesting shift. Not a normal error there. Besanova there. We haven't seen her miss one like that. So 3-3. They used to say in tennis this was the most important game of the set. The seventh game.
Still is.
Still is?
Still is. But, you know, noticing, too, that they just ran through that game when they were both on the baseline is interesting, too. So, exactly. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
You see
So
what I
this is a
mean?
big moment in the match.
That's what I mean. They just won that game easily, both being in the backcourt because they were serving. You see how immediately they adjust and say, hey, look how quickly we won.
Well,
that
we have
game, and now we're going to stay
all
back.
4 players staying back.
I love the tactic.
Yeah. Definitely makes it fun to watch, too. Look out. Look out. Oh.
Yeah, Halbauer and Jackson have to get more balls to the screen and not let them hit a bunch of deck drives.
Right.
Good. Great overhead.
On a lob like that, that's tough.
Got to get the ball to side screen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that backside is exactly what Buyukian wants. And even when everyone sees it coming, Halbauer and Jackson see it coming, it's just got such snap on it. It's just a very tough shot to deal with.
Hard to keep that ball in the court off your pad. That's it's coming in hot.
She just holds it so well, too.
Right.
There it is. No target.
Yeah, no target, different stroke.
Yeah, no commitment, right?
Yeah, just pressure just to get it in, and that's what happens sometimes.
Now they're both staying back. I like the move. Yeah.
Easy when you're watching from here, but I would say Jackson Halliburton, the big weapon is Jackson's backhand, and that's where we had all the court to hit to. Ball winds up at her backhand. She winds up taking advantage of it.
Well, I think the big thing is really 2 things, Jesse. It's one, recognizing where you're losing your points, okay? 2, making the adjustment as quick as Halbauer and Jackson did. Whether they win or lose this game, for sure the right adjustment.
Right.
And sometimes you can't confuse decisions with outcomes, because even if they don't win this game, it's still, I think, the right decision.
Right.
But I love the fact that they recognize they won a quick game when they were both on the baseline and stayed with it.
So second set, 3-3 at deuce here. Important moments coming here. Oh, she had the ball she wanted there.
Yeah, I would be getting out of the way of that. It looked like they both were. They were both just going to let it go through. Staying back? Yes. She tried to pull a little FBI there.
She went for it.
I was only
The old
half.
FBI.
I was only half, so I don't know. We might have to come with a new.
Yeah, what is a half FBI?
Yeah. Great ball.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the pace of their overheads, the speeds, Besanova and Bulyukin have really been much better this set. What do you think, Jesse?
This is it. Yeah, it's a very interesting point in the match. Next 10 minutes are going to determine a lot here. Momentum has kind of swung back and forth.
It really has.
Teams are both using a lot of different formation strategies. It seems like it's fun to watch.
Well, it's interesting, too, how Bauer and Jackson in that first set, those first 5 games, just made no mistakes. And Besanova and Bulyukin gave them a few on their own. But both sides have just made very, very good adjustments and continue to. Such a good pace. Tell you what, they're lobbing. Besanova and Bulyukin are lobbing so well.
Yeah, they are.
They had
Making a
to.
big difference with the way Halliburton and Jackson were volleying.
And they got them both pushed back there with that kind of lob into the middle of them that was low.
So Besanova and Bukian have had a couple opportunities where they've been up a break, and this is another one where it feels there's some pressure right now, or I sense some pressure in terms of this game is important for them. Keep that lead.
Little indecision there.
Yeah. I know how that feels.
Don't see much of that from Jill Jackson.
Oh,
Got to remember, too, it's late in the day.
this is what, their fourth match?
Fourth match
Fourth
of the day.
match.
I mean,
Great
ball.
touch, yeah, great touch.
Jackson Halbar, great lobs. You know, when you lob the ball well, Jesse, you can control who hits it and a lot of times where the next ball's going.
Right.
You lob the ball well down the line, the next ball's probably going cross court.
I think a lot of players just hit the lob and aren't maybe thinking how important that lob is, the placement of it, the height of it.
Great get, wow.
Yes, it's a great point.
That was some transition.
Good cover.
just much better decision making on both sides.
What a point.
And you know, it's getting to the time of the day where the temperature's dropping. Those balls just can't be let go anymore.
Right. That's a great point. A day like today, how much the temperature
The
changes
sun's
the game.
down. I mean, it's
Yeah.
10, 15 degrees cooler than it was 2
Yeah.
hours ago. That ball's not going to come out anymore. The ball's playing heavier.
Yep. It's amazing 15, 20 minutes how much the game can change, the conditions.
All right, 4-all. Ellie Halbauer serving.
Hands up there. Big drive from Besanova.
I don't even know if I mind that look. I think it was a good look. I mean, she's feeling it. That's a great pace.
Yeah, it's a tough ball.
Wow, good get from Besanova. Same
Great
ball.
again. Yeah, great
Can't
touch.
Can't let it go.
But I think you're right. Maybe, half an hour ago, that ball comes out a little more and it's more maybe playable. That ball just died back there.
It's a great ball. Great pace. And too, as the temperature drops, and obviously soon this will be for the rest of the season when it gets cooler, but you hit a short lob and you're protecting your corner. The number one ball that burns you is a softball, not the hard ball, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the one you got to look for, because otherwise you'll let a ball go that shouldn't be.
This would be at least the 5th break of serve in a row.
And at the lower level, it's an advantage because you're holding the net and screens, like we talked about earlier, a little weaker. As you keep getting better and better, it's not necessarily an advantage because of how big the returns are and how tough that first volley is. Another deuce. Wow, the same softball.
Yeah, that backside ball.
It's just the softball in general.
Right, anything, yep. Almost anything finding 2 screens right now soft is a problem.
Wow, big.
Great hands.
Well, what a turn, huh?
Yeah, this is.
You see the firepower from Besanova and Buyukin. I mean, and Vera Besanova has really stepped it up with that forehand.
Yeah, that forehand has been a problem.
Well, what she does so well is moves forward and takes time away.
Right.
I mean, all right, first point's important to notice, because they're both staying back. Jill Jackson moves up. That was a heck of a get
yeah,
from
that was
Besanova.
a lot of athleticism on
That
display
was
there.
unbelievable. That ball was way behind her. She'd like that one back,
Yep,
probably.
Yep, she's been making those.
Yeah, she's just been doing such a good job of going forward. There, she was a little behind the baseline, but all right, quick game here. Let's see if they can use that freebie.
Really good lobs here.
Notice, too, how they're not really allowing the same person hit the lob over and over again.
They are moving it.
Okay, Jill's hitting it. Little chip. And now you see how she makes Halbauer hit it.
Everyone's almost past the service line on these overheads there.
Yeah, when they get them both a little soft by mixing up. Halbauer, where are we going now? Jackson, see?
Yep.
And that
Little poke there.
Yeah, see,
Nice
and
little
Halbauer's off the net because she's hit a bunch over.
Yep.
There's that soften again. Good dig.
There it is. Big okay from love 40, 30, 40. We have another little momentum swing here, guy.
Well, if it is, it'll cost them the set. So, Halbauer and Jackson. But both Besanova and Buyukian are doing a much better job of hitting that drive just to pull them in where their next lob is better. They weren't doing that much in the first set, but they're doing that very well now. Kind of hitting that neutral drive well.
Big point there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That is a great finisher by
Great
Jill Jackson.
finisher at a great time.
Wow, you are right. The only
Down
one,
set point there. Oh, that was deuce. I'm sorry. My
Yeah.
mistake. That was deuce.
the only one the entire matchup was great time to use it.
Right. That's soft.
see Hal Bauer, how far over she is.
Oh, what a shot.
Ball just stayed on the side wire.
Yeah.
Wow, is that a nice
Yeah,
return
it
from
was-
Jackson. Just only focus there, Jessie, was keeping the ball low at her feet.
Yeah. And her partner seamlessly was there to clean it up.
5-all. Good crowd here tonight at Glenview. Paddle hut's packed over there. Deck's packed.
On her way here very shortly. No, not Yeah, if you want to head here, I think she's in the middle of a conversation. So, but I will let you know. And you guys can have a quick chat before the
All right, 15 love. Jackson serving. 5-all in the second. Hal Bauer and Jackson won the first set 6-2.
That's why they've been staying back some. That backhand right there, that was just drilled.
I'm interested why they're not staying back here like they did the previous game on this side. That's,
They might change their mind here after those two returns.
yeah, there's no need to give them those
Yeah,
looks. Even as good as their hands are, it's just against good returners, the matchup goes that way.
Yep.
I mean, they're the ones standing their balance. You're serving and running in.
And there we go. Nice adjustment.
Ooh, that was a good look.
Yeah, it
though.
was a good look.
Just quick games back and forth. Wow. Good patience. That's a great give.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to live that way though, Jesse.
Right. Oof.
Good leave.
Great drive.
Sure was.
Big moment. Brought out her best stuff. All right, so how many breaks has that been, Guy? It's been a few, right?
It has been
So,
just a good look at how that serve is just not an advantage. So a couple quick games either way. I will say that with as well as Buyukin and Besanova are driving the ball from the baseline, those more balls have to find their way to the screen.
yeah.
Besanova just does such a good job of moving forward and taking away time, and Anna Buyukin just holds the ball so well.
So there's a clear plan here from Besanova and maybe not. Maybe they switched it up. Jackson's drive has been
So crisp, right?
just tough. Both sides, so clean.
You notice too that on both sides of the court, when the drives are so compact and their footwork is balanced and they're going forward, and they just rarely miss. Wow, what a volley.
Wow.
What a great deep volley that was. I like that shot a lot. So quick, right?
Yeah, looking for that ball.
Mixing up the lobs well.
All right, here we are, 2 set points.
And a smart play on this service game, staying back.
Yeah.
They recognize where they're winning points.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Chicago Charities in Chicago, Illinois, with this quarterfinal match between, wow, it's been a good one too, Ellie Halbauer and Jill Jackson playing against Vera Besanova and Anna Bukian. Players are off the court for a moment, but we'll reintroduce them when they come back on. I tell you what, Jesse, it's been a great 2 sets.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch this third set, see what unfolds. We've had a lot of momentum swings, a lot of everything. Great drives. I mean, we've seen it all so far.
I tell you what, that second set, there were quite a few adjustments on both sides with both teams. And as you mentioned, I mean, just so many serve return breaks.
Yeah, holding serve was
Yeah.
was not easy, and it was fitting that the team that won the set finally held serve at the end there.
Right. And then again, credit to Besanova and Bukian. I mean, staying back and really both believing in that tactic, and obviously it was the right one.
Yeah. Yeah, Besanova really stepped it up. I feel like in that second set, her drives, her forehand, just really
so good.
Confident swings, and made a big difference.
Yeah, I think more than anything, she chose the right balls to drive, and
her anticipation of those drives.
Yeah, she covered her corner so well.
Yep.
And
but she knew when that ball was coming to that forehand, and she was locked and loaded.
And Bukian started holding the ball off the screen, some chipping away. And that's what I saw her doing earlier in the day with her forehand, is just kind of, I don't want to call it pushing, but hitting it very flat with more of a Eastern Continental grip and just pulling them in and then waiting for the backhand, because that's her huge weapon.
Right, and she started, maybe as the match goes on and players get tired, you start getting some of those softer forehands. They start missing some of those volleys.
Right.
Because the first set we didn't see any volley mistakes from Jackson Halbert. So
looks like they're changing chair umpires here.
So we're at the 4th match of the day for each team. Temperatures dropped, 20 degrees? It's pretty cold out there now.
For sure.
It's cold in this booth right now.
Yep.
Little chilly. So this will be an interesting, lot of factors for this third set.
Yeah, and this little break's probably we're at 47 degrees, I've just been told. Okay. But it feels colder than that. That's for sure. It's very damp, which makes the ball play heavy. So interesting, too, because this is a little bit more of a break than we're used to. Probably lets Halbauer and Jackson regroup a little bit. That was after a pretty dominant first set. A tough, hard-fought second set.
And I'm assuming, based on the scores, the first time they've been tested today.
You could not be more correct.
I didn't see their matches, but I'm assuming that this is their first real test of the day based on the scores.
Talk about something being about 200% accurate. I mean, I would say, Jesse, that just not much gets by you.
Well,
yeah, it's interesting, the last couple matches that we've called together today, how the first set in both matches were very one-sided, and how the second sets changed dramatically. And at this level and this deep in the tournament, you would only think that would happen, that teams would adjust and obviously tighten things up.
right. So is this our umpire coming back on?
It appears to be. Taking the long walk up the ladder. Tell you what, it doesn't seem like that's that high up there, but it is.
Oh, I wouldn't like being up that high.
Especially with no ladder.
No, you're stranded. You're stuck.
When you can't get down when you want to.
Got to make sure you trust the people working with you. You are stuck up there.
Jesse, I think I'd kind of want a seatbelt on.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Bungee cord, maybe.
Helmet. Yep. All right, here we go. Third set.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
She's been unjamming her fax machine. I don't know what that sound is. Brian and I were both paper near your mic.
That's that forehand I was
Yep.
talking about. You see, no, just a straight push of the ball. But you know what else that does? It moves the ball. You go straight ahead. A lot of times that moves the ball back cross court, which is exactly what they want. There it is again. And that's just because of that 10-minute break right there.
Yeah, body takes a second to
Yeah, you cool
Get
down a little
moving,
bit.
yeah.
Exactly.
And these players, they're playing for a lot, right? Chance at the semifinals, one of the biggest events of the year. So this is an important set for all these players.
Yeah, you have to believe from a player's perspective, and rankings and prestige is the second biggest tournament of the year, only second to the Nationals. You're right.
I'd agree. But to play on that final day, all the fans, I haven't been there myself, but I'm sure it's a good time.
Yeah, these guys out here in Chicago they got this tournament down to clockwork. I can't remember how many times I've played this, but it's always been A+. All the clubs, Glenview as a host club,
What a beautiful time of year also. Trees are changing. It's a pretty amazing event.
Yeah, just a completely different look from what was going on in that first set from Halbauer Jackson. And we said it too, they have the ability to play slow. Because they were hitting rollers and stuffing volleys and
We'll go back to the end. Patty just got that. Patty, are you here? Okay, the match technically just started, but we've got 20 seconds to go live. If you're ready. Are you ready, Patty? Okay, here. Okay, and 10 seconds. 5, 4.
so you saw Besanova and Bukian have a lot of momentum winning that second set, and a little bit of a break there, and Halbauer and Jackson came out. Good even tempo. And I like them being at the net there too, because coming off a break like that, if it gets a little cooler, because a couple of those drives that were missed weren't missed for that whole second set by Besanova and Bukian. You can see, too, as the temperature cools off, Jesse, the points are getting a little longer, too.
Yeah.
He's here doing his thing, and we appreciate the time that they put into this great tournament. I mean, it's not a bad play, but it's going to be a lot of adjustments and flexibility and moving. Coming up with a plan, and if it's working, stick with it. If it's not, we got to change it. Against these two, I mean, the firepower comes out, the consistency, the spin, the control.
Great dig by Bukian.
Pretty locked solid, so
Notice, too, Jesse, she is not letting that ball get in there soft.
Volley. Wow.
That is such a big ball.
she's just utilizing all the information, skills, and experience throughout the years. And that's what gets
And that's a forehand we didn't see Vera Besanova miss much at all towards the end of that second set. But I do like the look. It's the one she's been making. Game point here for Halbauer
Yeah.
Jackson. Let's see what happens here, but that's what I was a little worried about with that extended break there, especially when you have a lot of momentum.
Yeah, there's been a pretty noticeable shift here. So, Guy, if you're Besanova and Bukian, what are you changing here to try to swing this back a little?
To be honest with you, it's going to sound really basic. I just think they're a little flat because they cooled down. I mean, they had a ton of energy going. They need a couple really long points, and I think they'll be right back where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what a long point does for you. You know, you can't be in a long point unless you're making good decisions. You're obviously going to not be chilled anymore.
Right, just that break with the temperature drop. Just getting blood going again.
Well, listen, if you lose a set and you had one thing you could do, it would be to take a little extra time between, because it kills that momentum.
Right.
So. All right, so you see Jackson and Halbauer staying back again here. Tell you what, too, Besanova does a great job of aiming right at that corner on that return. It's not that easy. Notice how deep she's pushing that.
Yeah, it's a great overhead.
Sure is.
Resets everything.
Oh, she had the
nice.
look she wanted. Such a good move. Solid game there.
Yeah, love hold.
So now I think we're probably back on par here. Everybody's back in the match.
Right out down. I mean, they got the ball right in the middle of no man's land and forced an error. So they, I mean, that's another phenomenal look. That's exactly what they need to do. It's tough.
They staying back here, Jesse, on this serve.
That, let's,
Baseline team when they're hitting overheads from the middle of no man's land.
I'm going to say yes on this first one, serving to Jackson. I'm going to say they will be staying back.
It's been working. Actually, it's been working for both sides.
Yeah,
That's why it's so tight. And that's why this match has lasted the amount of time it has, because there's fewer errors on those first 3 balls.
Yeah, it's great having her in Chicago. You can hear her sing from miles away. Got it.
And then transitioning in behind something they're in complete control of.
really nice play. Great lobs here.
Great pace, nice and deep. Jesse, look across at that paddle hut. How crowded do you think that paddle hut is?
That is a crowded paddle hut, guy. There is not a lot of space in that paddle hut to maneuver around. Got the fire pit outside. Got everyone warm and enjoying some food and drinks inside. Pretty good setup.
Quick 30-love lead here.
Come on! Let's go!
Yeah, the energy level between Besanov and Uyukian is much better now.
But the odds are in your favor if you can keep them moving and move over and deep.
That was close. Wow. It was good, though. It's a tough one when you're watching it and wanting it to be out.
Pretty big momentum swing here. It was 40 love. Now we're back to deuce.
Wow.
One's not working, they go to another one. Try a different
That ball caught a seam. Smart ball to lob.
Yep. Read that one.
And that's why it was a smart ball to lob, because there was always going to be a better look. Great volley
Close,
by
great
Halbauer.
close.
Wow. Wow, that's a great
Yeah, that
close.
was quite a game to win there.
She just saw that, read it. And that's another thought to think about is, again, the more time you have to drive, the more she could see it and crash the net.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. What you got? I think it's wrong. I got it. I'm like, wait, did I say it wrong? It's all good.
Again, she's just all over it.
Smart decision there to lift that ball up.
Let's go. Right here.
Also a good play, to your point, because they switched sides. So Alexandra was on the defense there and pick up on that.
A little bit of a tactics change from Halbauer and Jackson coming in again. Let's see if Halbauer stays back here. Nope.
Let's go.
And she's just sitting on that
Yeah,
ball.
yeah.
That ball has got to go to the wire. Otherwise, you just, what happens too, Jesse, if that ball doesn't go to the wire, the volley player
I just love how
on that ad side just has to hang in her alley because she has to cover it.
Right.
So then the overhead player is basically playing 85% of the court by herself. That's a good pace right there. All right, another 40-love game.
Yeah. It's-
Wow.
pick up.
Jesse, I'm going to tell you about Volley. Why not have a 30-day free trial with Volley? What's stopping you? Get 30 friends together and dive into a full month of elite training completely free. It's that easy. Ready to level up your game? Head over to getvolley.com/myclub and start your 30-day free trial today. Well, it's late in the day. Like you said, both these teams have played this is their fourth match. I think that, you know, when you're watching, it's the team right now that's just making better decisions. You know, when to drive, when to lob the next ball that is winning these games because they're quick games.
some physical fatigue, but also underrated is the mental fatigue of playing 4 matches in a day and having the focus that long.
Wow. What an exchange there.
Yeah, wow. What a point.
Good look, though, by Besanova. She had to hit
Yeah, she's
that.
got to hit that ball. Yep.
Not only was that great movement at the net by Halbauer, but what unbelievable defense from Bukian and Besanova. Oh, that ball was gone.
I mean, yes. And there's a number of them in that point. Which
Big
one-
drives.
Which one do we show?
Finally gets an error.
Right. Right. I mean,
And even if she doesn't, she's just going to relocate the next drive because those volleys are a little short. It's just pressure.
every once in a while.
Smart lob. That's what we were saying earlier. You see how much the ball's moving around now from side to side. Good look.
That's the first. They're both playing. I mean, all 4 are playing phenomenal.
30 all. Besanova serving at 2-3, third set.
John is just getting running the balls, not just getting back, but getting to that. And running point by the box. I love the volley machine. We used it several times. When I have a client that comes, they got it.
Wow.
Get ready to take your training to the next level. Serving volley, the world's first responsive play drill. Volley's new AI-powered feature mimics real game conditions, tracking your court position and returning every serve just like the real thing. It's the ultimate way to sharpen your platform tennis skills with mortgage practice. Start today on the Volley app and experience the future of tennis with Volley today at volley.com.
Wow.
What
Wow.
A tough, yeah,
Wow.
what a tough ball.
I think she just kind of thought maybe it's not going to be in. Wow. But you know, Jesse, that's what the swing in the ball does, right? You know, they're moving the lobs around where it creates big parts of the open court because Bukian's still moving to her left when that ball's being hit, even though it wasn't hit very hard. All right, 4-2. Jackson serving. Great gets. Wow, by Halbauer.
Ooh.
That was going to be lights out for somebody.
Ooh.
I thought that ball was coming through the glass
That
right
was-
there, Jesse. Notice I was getting behind you.
It was, well,
Oh,
yeah. Jackson, this third set has been looking for her shots, looking for her swings.
great pace on that backhand by Halbauer. And then a little unfortunate with the net cord. But Bessanova and Byukian not going away. I tell you what, did you see Jill Jackson? I mean, just putting those balls. I tell you what, this time of the night too, lobbing the ball that high in the lights and having to look at those LEDs, that white light. You see what just happened, you lose it. I mean, she chipped that next ball. All right, here we are.
So here we 5-2.
So it was 2 love, Halbauer Jackson, then 2 all, and then 3 quick games. All right. Looks like they're staying back here. Yeah, they got a little flow going again. There was a point that Halbauer with that backhand wasn't as committed a few games ago, but she's very confident in that now. That's a good give by Bessanova. Important for Bessanova and Byukian to win this on the first opportunity here, first game point. Game point again here. Wow.
Great play by Jill Jackson there.
Well, her lobbing that ball when she got pulled up was so smart. Such a good ball.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when Bessanova and Byukian lob well, I mean, there's just nowhere to really put the ball. They both cover so much court, and the ball doesn't get to the screen.
Right.
Here we are.
Serve it out here at 5-3.
It'd be interesting to see, Jesse, if, based on what happened that last game, if Bessanova and Byukian switch out here once the point gets started. I mean, they've had success on both sides.
Chicago or down the line for the on the tour?
And I think I like it both ways with them. It's just based on what looks they're getting. So they Sometimes they switch, sometimes they don't.
I have a number of friends who are playing.
But if they're not getting their looks, they're definitely making the adjustment.
There's a little bit of something for everybody.
See, that ball's it's got to be hit hard.
Oh, a little miscommunication. Oh no.
Wow. That lob just ended up in a really good spot, didn't it?
Yeah, and they haven't had any miscommunications.
No, they have
this
not.
entire match. Hear a little frustration. $30-15.
All right, here we are, match point.
I tried doing that pattern. I've just been messing around like maybe last year. Trying to do it. I think I bruised myself more than I actually got that call. That's just been another level.
Wow, what a match.
That was a great match.
I tell you what a grind. Great playing from both teams. Great adjustments. What do you think, Jesse?
That was fun. There was so many swings. Just a great match. Really tactical from both teams.
Yeah, I thought so, and both teams played well and had a little lulls, but all in all, just a fun match to call with you.
Yeah.
Loved it. That's a wrap for the women's quarterfinals here. We will be back with you live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the semifinals. Thank you.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.